Hey there, hi there, ho there. Once again, you're as welcome as can be. You're welcome to the Gun Cranks. I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat, along with American Handgunner editor Tom McHale and AmericanCop.com editor Eric Gelhaus. Hey guys, how's it going in this first week of January 2023? That feels weird, doesn't it?
Survived the new year. Happy to be here.
Survived? I didn't have that much fun. Did we have a big time? A big wing-ding?
No.
Do we have pictures or video?
Absolutely not. Because that would be on social media.
Was there a livestock truck outside your house?
No.
Okay. Thank you for joining the Gun Cranks in the 2023 edition. And today, it's going to be one of those, I'm mad as hell and not going to take it anymore. And it's a topic that maybe doesn't seem gun related, but it's absolutely gun related. And what got all this started is, if you've been following all this stuff about TikTok. Now, I would wager the vast majority of our audience has never seen a TikTok. I have, and you can feel the IQ draining out of your skull as you watch. They're basically 60-second videos. Most of them are much shorter than that. I'd say the majority of them are people twerking and otherwise grinding in really provocative fashions, or blowing stuff up, or driving like an idiot, or being a gangbanger. And there's really no socially redeeming qualities. But then again, I've just kind of described the internet. But the interesting thing, and what's got me ranting and raving, let me back up. How this ties in is, of course, TikTok is absolutely 100% anti-gun. TikTok is basically owned by a Chinese company. Well, China is a communist country, so basically the government is owning TikTok. And there's been several studies that have found that in the United States and Western countries, the algorithm shows things that are not necessarily uplifting and helpful to society. For example, I just saw a story on this today, talking about they made some fake accounts that appeared to be teenagers. So they were getting stuff about suicide, assisted suicide, eating disorders, kind of glorifying all of it. And you know what they do in China for their consumption? They show videos, interviews with astronauts and high achievers, and that's what they're sending, the message they're sending to their country. Meanwhile, they're pumping all the sludge over here. And like Tom, you said, in a cynical way, it's freaking brilliant. They're going to destroy our country from the inside.
Now, what I don't know is whether they started it with that in mind, or maybe TikTok started and, then, of course, the government kind of steps in and says, holy cow, we have a way. We play the long game, which China does. We have a way to influence the entire next generation of our biggest rival. That's just brilliant. It really is. Horrible, but brilliant, right?
Feed them the sludge. They become addicted to the sludge. And Ashley, our digital editor, was reading during this meeting. She's found a study that they've polled kids in America, and what do you think right now among the younger generation? Their number one aspiration is to be for a career. They want to be an influencer.
Engineer.
No. They want to be an influencer.
Doctor.
They want a ring light, and they want a video camera, and they want to twerk to the music. Whereas in China, they're still wanting to be physicists, astronauts, that kind of stuff. So it's a brilliant plan. What's the Chinese premier's name? The emperor, or whatever his name is? Zhang Zhu's whatever. Anyway.
Xiping, I don't know.
That's it. Yeah, something like that.
Dr. Evil. Is it Dr. Evil?
Dr. Evil. That's exactly what it is. So you're, taking care of yourself and your country and your Marxist philosophy. You're doing a good job. You're killing us over here. But to those of you who live in free Western society, stop it. Turn that crap off. Otherwise, you'll end up like California, where Eric lives.
Yep.
That's your cue.
Red star on the flag. It's not just TikTok. It's been going on with social media for a while. And what's fascinating is Elon Musk got Twitter, and nobody really cared what Elon Musk was doing while he was churning out cars and spaceships. But as soon as he started to buy Twitter, looked like he was going to buy Twitter, he starts to become a problem. And now he's dropped the Twitter files, and they've gone out to Barry Weiss and Matt Taibbi, if I got the names right. And they're sitting there starting to show what was actually going on inside Twitter and other social media companies during the last couple of election cycles, and how it wasn't just a difference of opinion. It was anywhere from a thumb to a 50-pound dumbbell resting on the scales and what was being censored and what wasn't. And oddly enough, when I go look at my local fish wrapper and birdcage liner, they're not covering it. They're not covering the release of what's in these Twitter files and everything else. So now we got TikTok pushing out the garbage versus, externally versus what they're doing internally. We're getting really good info dumps on what was going on in a social media company that described itself as, a digital town square, and no one cares. Not no one cares. It's not being reported to half the country. And that's my concern, right? So like I said, I just went to the local fish wrapper, found their search function, threw Twitter at it, and start scrolling back, and it's about what is being posted by this politician, that celebrity, but not what's coming out in these releases that are being gone through by, reporters with legitimate reputations who've worked for the large big media corporations, who are setting aside wherever they came from to go through these files and dig it and get the information out. And it's just not being covered. So unless you're looking for it, you're not finding it.
And it's all in writing. I mean, I've been reading that stuff, and it is shocking. Now what is the little that is getting reported is, it's nothing. We've known this forever. But the same people saying that are the same ones that have decried us as being conspiracy theorists and crazy. Oh, that's not happening for years, right? Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. That's not true. And now that it is true in writing, the very same people are saying, "Oh, it's nothing. We all knew that."
They would get asked about shadow banning. Are you shadow banning people? Oh no, we're not shadow banning people, because they were using a different term for it. It was like visibility filtering, right?
Yeah.
So we weren't shadow banning.
Visibility limiting.
Like we didn't use that one. We were doing this thing over here with your visibility that we called something different that was just like a shadow ban, but we called it something different. We weren't lying when we told you we weren't shadow banning you or anybody else on social media. So if you look at the firearms world, right? How difficult it is to find some firearms publications on social media, how difficult it is to find some of that information, without having the exact URL or the exact screen name on these various platforms to get to it. There's your reasoning. They weren't shadow banning you, they were filtering your visibility.
Well, the most shocking part of all that are the actual screenshots from the admin side at Twitter of specific individual accounts like James Woods, Dan Bongino, just literally showing the settings and stuff that are going on. They're saying, nope, content filtering, limiting, blah, blah, blah. I've noticed, I've got almost 30,000 followers on Twitter over the years, and my engagement was near zero for the past several years. So I just kind of gave up on it. I didn't use it hardly at all. And I kind of put my toe back in the water since Musk bought it. And I tell you, the difference is shocking. Mm-hmm. As to engagement and reads and follows and all this stuff, it's shocking.
Well, it's amazing. We've talked about it before that as a company, Guns Magazine, American Handgunner, AmericanCop.com, it's interesting to see, we get all the statistics and the metrics, and you'll see something start to rise and then it just levels off. So did suddenly, it was growing great, and then it just hit a plateau. Interesting, So it's affecting the entire firearms industry, and it's affecting you. And the sad thing is, we who, as firearms owners, and this is the problem with the whole Second Amendment, is we're the silent majority. We're just not the kind of people to get placards and go raise hell in front of a, legislature someplace. But you know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time we made our voices heard. And we say that, and this last election was a great example of we didn't show up. So it's pretty much status quo. So Man, we've kind of hit all the big topics here, but this is big stuff. This is big stuff,
I
man.
tell you though, you still have the media that's 100%, hushing all of this. But I've written in our corporate client newsletter the past couple of columns about the Twitter situation. I'm cautiously optimistic about this because look at the difference a change in ownership makes, and love it or hate it, Twitter's got a big footprint, right? And the power of that in a level playing field, I don't want them to ban anybody unless they're threatening murder or, the obvious stuff. But points of view, they need to be out there. How else do we move forward as a society? I think with the thing like TikTok, there's all this talk now about banning TikTok. Like, right, that's going to happen. Can you imagine the rebellion of the federal government trying to ban TikTok? We already have state governments saying, hey, you can't have it on state phones and phones. Ixnay on that, which is doable. It's their right. It's a business tool. But trying to ban it wholesale, that's never going to happen.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking that okay. I'm not going to go down the road I was going to go down. So that was an awkward moment here on the broadcast. So, Tom, back to you.
Nice. So maybe Elon Musk or somebody of like mind will buy TikTok if the Chinese government will ever let it go, which why would they? Talk about an asset, It's just hysterical, the whole Elon Musk thing. He's not even a conservative. That's what's so amusing about all this, He just believes in freedom of speech, that shouldn't be a conservative value. That should be an everybody value.
Nothing in the Bill of Rights should be one party or the other. It's the Bill of Rights for every American citizen, right? And it's not left, it's not right, it's everyone, and that's all of them. It's scary, like Tom was saying, the reaction Musk is getting just by trying to pull the thumb or the 50-pound dumbbell off the scale, and just let people be able to express their opinion. And the marketplace, the people that are idiots, if they're going down the hate speech road, the marketplace will deal with that, right? If they're at all tied to a business or anything else, the marketplace will deal with that. But to censor half your population, right, either through shadow banning or visibility filtering or whatever they're actually calling it this week, I think it's gonna come around and bite them in the ass. And if we see anything good, it will be that set of teeth marks.
You know what? You bring up an excellent point here. The whole hate speech and companies needing to step in to stop that. Why? Why do we need that? Are we not adults? I'm an adult. I have a 100% effective strategy for dealing with hate speech. It's called a block button. Problem solved forever. I will never see it again from that source. Is that not enough?
That's
Tom,
completely
you're
reasonable.
triggering me. I'm triggered. I need a puppy in a safe space. We could go on for days talking about this because it is so aggravating. But I would say our call to action here is get educated on it, understand, and be vocal. Whether you're right or left or whatever, it was either Tom or Eric said, the Bill of Rights, the U.S. Constitution, it's for everybody, not just one side or another. And if somebody tells you can't talk that way, yeah, you can. They may not like it, and maybe it's crass and you shouldn't say it, but that's not saying you can't say it. So maybe we need to rally around free speech a little bit more. So that's my soapbox piece for this episode of the Gun Cranks. So, ta-da! Hey, Nick, our producer, could we put the waving flag in the background and some patriotic music, and I'll look off into the distance like someone farted as we kind of fade into Stars and Stripes. Did I say that? I think you can say fart, right? That's okay.
You just did.
Just trigger
so
people?
Yes, you can.
Wow. See, this is what happens when we don't have adult supervision without Roy being here.
Or
it's kind of like Mr. Smithers wanting his feet rubbed.
Wow. we are not going to tell that story because that would trigger people, but it was truly probably the worst thing I've ever done to anybody in public. It was great. But Eric handled it well. So anyway, okay, getting away from the inside story of bad behavior at a SHOT Show.
By you.
I used to drink a lot. Anyway, check out.
Where's the block button on this? I just talked about how to solve this kind of thing.
The marketplace will take care of it, okay? No. Check out AmericanHandgunner.com, GunsMagazine.com, AmericanCop.com. We have the Gun Cranks podcast. If you don't want to watch, you can listen. We also have the Guns Magazine podcast, of which I am the host. And Tom, we have special editions. Talk briefly about those.
Yeah, out now is our Concealed Carry and Home Defense Special Edition. Find it on any of our websites or in a bookstore near you.
Excellent. Well, this has been more of a political kind of rant episode of the Gun Cranks. Tell us what you think down in the comments section. Let us know. Do you agree? You disagree? You think we're crazy? Are you ready to go to war with us? I mean, figuratively speaking.
You gonna block us?
How you feel. You gonna block us?
Hey, you can. It's America. It's your right.
You know, Tom and I have said this before. We get so much reader mail, and the vast majority of it is great, positive stuff. But every once in a while, you get that one, I'd like to see that comment, okay? Because what happens is somebody, you people are upsetting me, and then everybody else gangs up on them like a chicken. In the chicken yard, when one of them's injured, they all just peck at the other one to death. I like to see that. So go ahead. I dare you. Put a comment down there. Anyway, let's be done with this, the first edition of 2023 of the Gun Cranks. So on behalf of Tom McHale, the editor of American Handgunner, and Eric Gelhaus, the editor of AmericanCop.com, I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat, and we're going to see you next week.